Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been almost a year since I last uploaded, but I'm back now. This project is an expansion of a project I was working on last year, the RC767, which I put on hold because of a lack of resources and poor design. In this two-part series, I am making an HO scaled Model 767-200. The reason why I chose the 767-200ER is because it's one of my favorite aircraft, along with the A350s, the A340s, and it's something rare to find these days. The 200ER is the smallest variant of its type. I decided to make this one an Air Zimbabwe model because it's from my country and I recently have spent a lot of time researching the airline. Air Zimbabwe is the flag carrier of my country. It currently has two 767-200s, with one of them, named after the town in my country, Chimanimani, is the only aircraft in active service at the moment. The second one, named Victoria Falls, is stored at Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport, and it's been there since 2018. But I heard a rumor that the airline is currently working on restoring it to active service. I decided to go with a Model 767 that sticks with the retro Air Zimbabwe livery, with which Victoria Falls still has. I just love the full body livery airlines used to have back in the day. It attached a level of character, brand, and aesthetic to the aircraft compared to the white-tailed designs of today. So I decided to go with creating a model of Victoria Falls. And guys, thank you so much for watching, and let's get on with this project. I started off by modeling the aircraft in Blender. I got the blueprints for the model from Wikipedia. I modeled the aircraft at school during my free period times in my timetable, but unfortunately I forgot to record myself modeling the entire aircraft. But I'd like to give a quick shout out to Ai-san Fujima, who responded by making an entire YouTube video on after I asked him how for tips um, for modeling an aircraft in Blender. His channel and his videos will be linked in the description. After I completed the model, I separated it into pieces and filled up any gaps and holes to prepare it for 3D printing. Following this, I rescaled the object into HO scale. For those of you who don't know what HO scale is, it is a ratio of 1 to 78, or 78 times smaller than the original aircraft. It is a term typically used for model trains. The inspiration for this project was actually from the German miniature railway, Miniature Wonderland, which is a mini town in Germany in HO scale. After rescaling the model and preparing the pieces for export, I exported them as STL files. I'm using an Ender 7 3D printer and Prusa Slicer as the slicing program. When slicing the pieces, I had to change the orientation of some of them because I didn't want supports on most of my pieces. This would make the surface rough and cause assembly problems. When changing my print settings, I set my infill to 50% for parts like the landing gear and the wheels because they'll be carrying the entire weight of the aircraft. I set 15% for the wings, the rudder, and the elevator, as well as the tail, because they are overhanging and need to remain smooth, and 5 to 2.5% for the main fuselage because they weren't going to experience any stress. This was also to help cut down on filament usage, print time, and weight. After all this, I put my work onto an SD card and put that SD card into the printer and pressed print. The total amount of print time was around 150 hours over 2.5 weeks because my dad needed to use the 3D printer as well. Hey guys, if you reach this point, I want to thank you for watching. It means a lot to me. If you are finding this video interesting, please like the video and subscribe. The motivation to continue working and improving these videos wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the people who are already subscribed to the channel and like my content. Continuing on. The final finish of the pieces of the model were pretty impressive, except for the inner parts of the left and right wing. Because I had printed them in a pretty strange orientation to accommodate the static landing gear doors, the supports were needed to print them and ended up making the top surface of the inner left and right wing pretty rough. But I have a plan to solve this issue later. So these are the pieces laid out here. Here is the nose, which which didn't come out as smooth as I wanted. It looks a bit low poly. The smooth shading probably didn't apply when I exported the model, but that's okay. Next, we have the forward fuselage section, followed by the two center fuselage pieces, which is the top and the undercarriage over here. Then we have the back fuselage section, which followed by the tail. We have two engines, an inner section of the wing, the main landing gear, which fits into the wings, the outer wing, the horizontal stabilizer, the vertical stabilizer, and 10 wheels for the landing gear. The next morning, I got sandpaper and superglue to stick some of the aircraft parts together. I sanded most of the edges of the aircraft where the glue was going to go. I first started off by fitting the rudder and the elevator onto the tail section without any glue, and they fit perfectly. But I superglued them after this, and the rest of the plane together. Before I glued the landing gear onto the wing of the aircraft, I decided to put the wheels on first. I designed the landing gear so that the wheels could be attached using 3mm nuts and bolts. However, the holes were slightly too small for some of them, and I was forced to put pressure on the bolt to get it through, or use hot water to cause them to expand so the bolt can go through easier. After this, I superglued the landing gear onto the wings. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the final result. This is a 1 in 87 scale model of a Boeing 767-200ER. I would say the model came out pretty well. I do have a couple of issues, like it being tail heavy, the skin not being completely smooth, a bit low poly, and gaps in the middle of the fuselage caused by an error I made when I was printing and gluing the airframe. I accidentally put supports on one of the fuselage pieces which didn't need, and I couldn't get those supports off. However, I'm pretty happy with the result, being my first model aircraft I've 3D printed. In the next video, I will be completing the model, sanding the entire aircraft down, making it smooth with resin, creating and applying the livery, and the following video, which is technically not going to be part of this series, I'll be creating a stand and a case to store and transport the aircraft safely. Well guys, this is the end of the video. If you watched till this point, you are a legend. Thank you so much for watching the entire video, and I really do appreciate you watching it. Please do like and subscribe, and if you have anything to say, type it down in the comment section. If you do believe that this is my best video yet, please comment down below and definitely hit that like button. I've had a lot of practice editing videos from my other channel, Regular Fighter, which I'll leave a link down below if you want to go and see it. Well guys, this is Rego. Thank you for watching and see you all in my next video.